Hello and welcome everyone to the Difference Maker Show. I'm so glad you could be here today. I'm Lynn Sanders, the Story Marketing Coach and your host at the Difference Makers, where our aim is to inspire, motivate, and empower you by sharing stories, tips, and strategies that make a positive difference in your life. And have we got an exciting show for you today? I'm really excited that you're here. The topic is attracting perfect customers. And before we begin, I would like to invite you to please sign in with your name and where you're hanging out from so we can engage with you. That's the beauty of Hangouts on Air, that we all can get to know each other and engage directly with our guests. So first, I would like to welcome our wingman, my friend and colleague, Roland Takaoka, who's going to be here to monitor the comments. Hi, Roland, where are you hanging out from?
I am hanging out with you from Rancho Santa Margarita, which is a little community in Southern California in Orange County.
That's great. I bet it's very nice and warm over there.
It's pretty sunny, too.
That's great. We're in Winnetka, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago. And can you tell us who is joining our hangout in the audience today? It looks like we have some wonderful guests.
Yes, we've got several people checking in, and initially we've confirmed Bill Graham, Alvin Lamb, and Neil Brown, and there are some people coming on right now, so I'll have more to announce for you in just a little bit.
Thank you so much, Roland. And for everyone coming in either live or to the replay, please be sure to write in your name and where you're hanging out from, and feel free to ask questions or comments to our guests, because that way you'll have a chance to really get to know them. And as a special treat, after the recorded hangout today, you'll be able to join our green room for an extra 10 minutes or 15 where you can talk directly with our guests. So now, without further ado, let me welcome Jan Stringer and Alan Hickman, and they are going to help you learn how to attract the perfect customers and be able to bring in the power of strategic synchronicity. This is just one of the books. In fact, I can speak from personal experience because Jan and Alan are my coaches, and they helped me become certified as a strategic attraction coach. And I'm really honored and excited to have them here today. They are international business coaches, best-selling authors, enthusiastic, playful speakers, and the co-founders of Perfect Customers. You can find them at perfectcustomers.com. After years of corporate experience, the Attracting Perfect Customers approach has gained an international reputation for helping people learn the method of attracting relationships that would be described as the perfect fit. And this approach can help you eliminate costly sales and marketing mistakes and take the struggle out of reaching your business goals. Jan is the author of the global best-selling book, Attracting Perfect Customers, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity, as well as Jan and Alan co-authored a book called Being, B-E-E-I-N-G, Attraction, What Love Has to Do with Business and Marketing. So if you've ever wondered how to attract the perfect customers, funders, supporters, or even personal relationships, these are the people you want to meet. And so let me welcome them. Jan, would you say hello to our guests? And Alan, and let us know where you're hanging out from, the two of you. Go ahead. Jan.
Hi, everybody. This is Jan Stringer, and I'm hanging out in Santa Fe, New Mexico today. That's where we live, so we hang out here a lot.
And Alan, how are you related to Jan?
Well, this is Alan Hickman. Can you hear me now?
Perfectly.
Great. So yeah, I'm also hanging out here in Santa Fe, New Mexico in my office because we need to be on different computers. So it's great to be with you this morning.
I'm really excited to have you. And just so everyone knows, Jan and Alan are husband and wife and husband. They are not, they're actually together in separate rooms today. So Jan, let's start with you. Can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you became the best-selling author of your first book, Attracting Perfect Customers? What's a little bit of your journey, your story?
My story, Lynn, is that I was a corporate person. I've spent many, many years in sales and marketing in larger corporations and worked my way up from a basic sales executive all the way up to a VP of sales. And one day I was just ready to stop checking my soul at the door every day to go to that job. And I decided to leave and find out what I was more passionate about. And it took about 3 years of soul searching to get clear about what's perfect for me. And I realized that in all those years of being in sales that I knew there was a better way to do things. And I realized that I had been doing things differently, even differently from what the supposed sales gurus were telling me to do at that time. And it was all revolving around the law of attraction. And I started to put those principles into what we now call the strategic attraction plan, and started teaching it to lots and lots of other business people who seem to have similar results as I was having when I first did them just for myself. So that's really how the business got started, is by working. I was in Houston, Texas at the time, and I would put on my calendar my workshop, and the class would fill almost automatically. It was before the days of internet. It was before the days of electronic calendars. It was before the days of doing anything but allowing the law of attraction and referral marketing to get the word out about my business. And that's how I got started.
Wow, very exciting. So Alan, tell us, how did you become a strategic attraction coach? What happened in your background that brought you to where you are today?
Well, it was many, 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 many years ago.
Okay.
I was driving to Iowa, so I was living in a small town in Iowa, and I was a director of sales and marketing for a telecommunications company at the time. And I was driving to Iowa City with a friend of mine, and we were going to see a mutual friend who was in the hospital. So we had about an hour in the car, and she happened to be the director of marketing for Mark Victor Hansen and Robert Allen on a new book they were coming out with called The 1 Minute Millionaire. And synchronistically, she had a galley copy of the book, Attracting Perfect Customers, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity. And to keep me busy, because she was on the phone driving the car with Robert Allen and Mark Victor Hansen, her ex-husband, working on all the marketing of this new book, she hands me this galley copy of Attracting Perfect Customers, and I look at this subtitle. It says, The Power of Strategic Synchronicity. And I go, that sounds interesting. So I spent the next 20 minutes looking through the book, and it was amazing to me. I can remember that moment just like being here today. And I turned to my friend, there's a little break in the action on that side of the car, and I turned to her and I said, wow, this is exactly what I've wanted to do all my life. And you know how be careful what you say sometimes. Right. So she says, well, hey, I'm going to a training in Houston, Texas next month. Why don't you come with me and you can meet the author? I said, great. And so I did. I learned the process that's in the book, the strategic attraction planning process, brought it back to the company that I was working with at the time, and together with the head of the department, our sales department, we actually used the principles and the processes in the book to train our 32 salespeople to develop a referral program that actually decreased the cost per closed lead from $400 to $2.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody could believe it. It was absolutely amazing. And so company became second fastest growing company in the country, and we got bought out. The new owners came in, of course, fired all the managers that made the company successful in the first place. So there I was, and I thought, well, geez, this process is really great. I'd been sharing it with entrepreneurs in town, and it worked for everybody that I shared it with. And so I called Jan and told her that I wanted to share the strategic attraction planning process. And she said, well, that's great. Why don't you do it with me?
That's great. I think it's also, we have to tell the audience, if you don't mind, a little bit of how Jan attracted you to get together with her. I think it's wonderful.
Well, that's the next step. So she said, oh, why don't you do that with Perfect Customer? So we end up getting on the phone regularly, and she trained me how to facilitate attracting your perfect mate teleclasses.
Oh, great.
And so it was in that process of my developing a strategic attraction plan for myself and, you know, sharing the process with her and her guidance, I began to notice something very interesting about this woman.
What
That
was that?
she had what was like a clear intuition into me. And so we experienced, even over the phone, she was 1,500 miles away in Houston,
Wow.
we developed what I call an intimacy. Into me you see. She was able to see into me in a way that I had not experienced previously. And so I think that was the beginning of our romantic connection, which, you know, long story short, ended up in us being married and now working together.
That's so powerful. You know, everything starts, as I've learned from you and I knew before, everything starts on the inside. So that's what's so great. And Jan, didn't you have Alan's qualities and traits and characteristics in your action plan as well?
My side of the story, Lynn, is
Yes.
while all of that was going on for Alan, what was going on for me is that I was married to somebody else, and I was in a relationship or a marriage with a partner who wasn't really a perfect fit for me. And I spent so much time getting the business going, and I was doing the strategic attraction plan for people over and over and over. And in the process of that, I was learning more about what I wanted in a relationship. And I realized that I wanted to be in a different relationship. And so what I did is I did my own strategic attraction plan. Little did I know Alan was creating his for his perfect mate. I was creating mine for my perfect mate. And the law of attraction really just put us together. It wasn't really an intent that I was going after him or he was going after me. It was kind of like we were brought together for a reason, and it became apparent that that's why the way circumstances laid out the way they did, that we actually were really, I always felt we were brought together.
Wow, that is so powerful. I'm sure everyone is waiting on the edge of their seats to find out what exactly is a strategic attraction plan, how it works. And even though we have not enough time to go over everything in depth, we are going to cover some of these main points. I think, Roland, did you want to mention some of the people who are commenting or asking any questions in the comment stream?
I wanted to give you a better idea of who and where they are. So,
Great.
although I'm not sure, I'm still trying to find out where Dave Moore comes from. He joined us just now. We have Ray Montero from California, Karen Chin from San Francisco, Neil Brown from Santa Cruz. Okay,
Oh, wow.
California wins today
Yes,
so far.
I'd say so.
Alvin Lam from Singapore. Bill Graham is from Belize. And Kim Armstrong is from Tallahassee, Florida. More in a bit.
Oh, and Dave Ward checking in from Kenton, England. Thank you all for coming here. It's so great to have you all come together. It's so exciting. So now, without further ado, Jan, would you start us off with what exactly is the strategic attraction plan, and what does it mean to have strategic synchronicity? Although some of us probably already know that means something is meant to be. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. So,
What is
how I would say, how I would preface what the strategic attraction plan is, it pertains to my definition of marketing, which is something that I talk about in my book, both of the books that I've written, that marketing is simply building relationships. And the first person that I need to build a relationship with is myself.
right?
Because based on the law of attraction, and our work is based on that principle that like attracts like. So where our work is very different from, say, traditional marketing, in that I look at what my personal preferences are first. What are my core values? What is important to me? Or the way I say it, what's perfect for me? And I look at that first. So I look inside of me. And by virtue of the law of attraction, when I get clear and focused about what that is for me, I will begin to draw to me people that have similar interests, similar values, similar desires, goals, and aspirations. And what the strategic attraction plan does, it gives people a way to harness that law of attraction, which is a big concept for all of us to grasp. And it's a 5-step process that guides us through this ability to see inside, like Alan said earlier, the into me see. It guides us through that intimate process of looking inside of ourselves about who are the kind of people we want to be working with, what are their different aspects of their characteristics and their qualities and their attributes that we really want to include in all of our really great personal close connections. And so you mentioned strategic synchronicity, why I put those two words together in the subtitle of the book, Attracting Perfect Customers, the power of strategic synchronicity, is that what I noticed for myself is that when I created my strategy, which the strategic attraction plan is a strategy, it's how to get from point A to point B. So when I would put my attention on that strategy, certain things started to happen synchronistically. So let's say I wanted to attract more customers to my business. When I got clear about what they were all about and what I was all about and what it would look like when we came together, I started to attract synchronistic occasions more frequently. Like I might get an email from somebody that I hadn't solicited an email to in the first place. They just heard about me through some interesting connection. Or I might meet somebody in person at a conference that's been saying, I've been wanting to meet somebody like you, or I didn't even know somebody like you existed. So these are what I call strategic synchronicity. I place my intention or attention on the strategic part of the plan, and then I let the law of the universe just work its magic and bring it to me in magical, delightful ways.
It is magical. I've been noticing it myself. I want to give Alan a turn since he's being so patient here. Alan, would you tell our audience, and as I said, I don't know how much time we'll be able to cover everything, but will you let them know what the first step is in the strategic attraction plan?
The beauty of one of the things that you mentioned, Lynn, you're saying, well, we won't be able to go in depth. And interesting, just one step, your first step into the strategic attraction planning process will take you deeper than you've ever been before. And the depth of the process is literally infinite because we're dealing with the human nervous system. It's looking inside of ourselves and seeing how to develop that, how to raise our own inner vibration in a way that we begin to develop confidence and trust in making decisions based on what's important to me. And it starts with step number 1, which is what are the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my perfect customer. Now, one of the reasons that this first step into the process is so significant, and I guarantee whoever is listening to this for the first time, you'll have results in 48 hours. Just hearing this process, it's going to become a part of your nature. And so what happens is many people discover that the first thing that shows us is, wow, you mean I get to say what a perfect customer is for me? And so just that inquiry into what is that really for me? And so that's the first step is, what are the perfect qualities, describe the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my perfect customer, my perfect mate, my perfect whatever the type of relationship is that you want to attract into your life at this particular time. So that's really the first step.
I was just going to interject, Alan. I think the reason I said in depth is because I'm taking the course again, a second time with you and Jan, and I feel like I'm learning everything over. It's almost like peeling an onion where there's more and more layers. I continue learning.
More depth, yeah.
Yes. And
That's
it also
there's more and more depth.
That's true. And I think what really impressed me, too, was when I first met the two of you over the phone, and you let me know that I have all the answers within me, that I can describe what I want to attract. It was really, you know, kind of like mind-shattering, mind-altering, that I can describe it. It's very different than traditional marketing where you have to go out, you know, and find someone. So,
well, traditional marketing has become traditional because it works all the time for some people. That's the distinction. What we're bringing in is a transformational piece to that, so that we can have that traditional marketing effect for everyone. Because the reason it works, traditional marketing works for, the reason it works for some people all the time is that's what's perfect for them.
That makes sense.
So it's almost just random. Why does it seem to work for some people? We have a process that brings it, your inner marketing genius to the surface.
That's true. So Jan, let me come back to you now. Let's look at the second strategic attraction step. And I also wanted you to mention the analogy you give in your book about a lighthouse, because I think that's so powerful, what you describe about how we can be like a lighthouse.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too, Lynn, so I'm glad you brought that up.
Synchronicity here, right?
Yes. Great minds. So I love the use of a metaphor to help me to visualize what it is for me and for other people. And our work is a lot like doing if you could imagine yourself being a lighthouse, that we're all like a lighthouse in a way, and that you, as a lighthouse, your job or your purpose is to be on the side of a seashore and let your light shine. And the brighter the light, the further out the boats could see your light. And in my metaphor of the lighthouse example, I tell the little story that one day the lighthouse was shining its light out brightly, and then the dark clouds rolled in, and next thing you know, a storm was brewing, and the boats were starting to look towards the lighthouse to come in and get out of the storm. And here the boats were coming, and the lighthouse sees the clouds brewing and is letting its light go out brightly. Yet all of a sudden the lighthouse notices that down on the other end of the beach is a whole group of boats that the light isn't being seen by. So all of a sudden the magical lighthouse brings legs underneath him and runs down the beach to the other end of the seashore to put the light out down there. And the boats on that end of the beach start following the light. But then the lighthouse looks back where he just came from and realizes, oh, I've confused the boats that were following me this way, so they run back. So the lighthouse is now running up and down the beach. So here's the moral of the story. What percent of the time are you, or am I, being more like a lighthouse, standing by the seashore and putting the light out for our boats or our customers to see our light and be drawn to, so that we can serve those perfect customers? And what percent of time are we being more like a searchlight, running up and down the beach, trying to serve everyone, trying to be something for everyone, rather than just being in our perfect niche and serving the people we're meant to serve? And I hear from people all sorts of different answers on that. Some people are really clear about who they are and what their purpose is, and they might say 100%. And some people say, I'm that searchlight and I'm running up and down the beach. And so with that example, our strategic attraction plan is designed to help those of us that get distracted and pulled in different directions, trying to be everything to everyone. We come back to being ourselves and true to ourselves, and that's what strategic attraction plan is about. Step one is to describe the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of our perfect customers, and then just be that for those people. And then the step two is about getting clear about what makes me and my perfect customers tick. And that is really a very important part of our plan, to step back and know that just like that lighthouse, I have a purpose. And in my business, I have a purpose. What is that purpose? So step number 2 is further deepening the process to get clear, so that we can, and there's 3 more steps after that. So in our book and in our programs, we talk about how you can go through each part of the plan for yourself, and each part of the plan will help you get more like that lighthouse, being stronger in who you are and letting your light shine a lot more.
Oh, that is really beautiful. I want to pin some of the comments that we have here, or Les Roland, if you'd like to pin them. Neil Brown just said, I love the self-affirming message. Is this about marketing or healing self? Maybe both. I love that, Neil. Great. Thank you. And then we have Dave Moore's talking to people. Roland, do you want to share some of the comments that you'd like to share with the whole group? Are you there, Roland?
Yeah, I had muted myself there. Rain asks a question. Love the first untraditional transformation marketing book. What are the qualities, attributes, and characteristics of my perfect customer?
Great. Yes, Rain. It really works. In fact, I want to lead into. I see Virginia Parsons wrote, love the lighthouse story. Virginia, you are a lighthouse. I've always desired to be a beacon of light, but I see the need to be a stationary beacon. That is so true. You're more focused. To give an example of the power of this program, we have a surprise guest, and you've been seeing images of her flashing on and off. Patty Walters, I want you to join us. She has been a part of this program for 15 years, and I thought she could give us all her own personal story or testimonial of how this program has made a transformation in her life. So welcome, Patty. Would you unmute yourself? Uh-oh. Can you unmute yourself, Patty?
Ooh.
There you are. Okay, we hear you now. Are you there?
Yeah.
I'm not hearing you too well. Have you unmuted yourself? Roland, do you know why I'm not hearing her? So, Patty, can you say hello for us?
Oh.
There you go. Okay, I don't know. I wasn't hearing your voice. Uh-oh. I'm not hearing you again. Can you hear her? Patty? You want to go to the top and make sure your microphone is not on mute?
Okay, can you hear me?
Now, yes, I can hear you. Great.
Sorry about that.
We're getting your
So,
photo image, and
thank
you can get your face back again. But if not, we'll just hear your voice. So you want to unclick the video camera at the top. So we can see you in person. There you are. Okay.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
So
Patty.
thank you for having me, Jen.
My pleasure.
And it's a pleasure to be on with Jan and Alan, because yes, I have been in the program or around the program for about 15 years. And I am a facilitator, so I facilitate workshops. I'm a speaker and a coach, and a master strategic attraction coach. So it's a joy. I'm hanging out here in Santa Fe, New Mexico today, and so the plan, strategic attraction plan, has assisted me in attracting more of my perfect life. I now live in a really cute place in Santa Fe, and not far from Jan and Alan, so that's pretty cool. And I worked in corporate when I first found out about the strategic attraction plan and got very curious about it.
So tell us how did it change your life? How did it transform what you're doing?
Well, it was very interesting. I got to get more specific about what I wanted and how I wanted it to be. And currently I work a lot with small business owners. I work a lot with women in different in different professions and really help to assist their self-reliance and self-confidence in what they're doing, what they have chosen to do as their work.
And so how has this plan benefited you?
Well, not to be trite, but it has totally changed my life, because I also lived in Houston, Texas when I met Jan, and I have been to many of the workshops that Jan has given in Houston and leadership programs, and then I joined the SACAT program and have been, it's been helpful for me, instrumental for me to really keep learning about that and deepening my experience of who I am in the marketplace and who I want to be. And now I'm having a lot of fun, and yesterday I was on the radio, which I totally love, and today I'm on a hangout. So how fabulous is that? That's totally on my attraction plan to do that.
That's great. And for everyone who doesn't know, SACAT is a lingo for strategic attraction coaching and training. I'm hearing a little echo. I'm not sure why, but hopefully it will go off, or maybe you could unmute it for a moment. So we're almost coming to the close of our show, and I wanted to let everyone know that Jan and Alan have a special gift for you on their website. So, Jan, you want to let everyone know what they're going to get if they come to your website?
Yeah, what we were talking about today is the strategic attraction plan. You've heard that mentioned many, many times. And our gift for you is a complimentary ebook. And you can go to our website at www.perfectcustomers.com, perfectcustomers with a plural.com. And right at the very top of the page, you'll see a place to put your name in, and we will give you instantly your free gift.
That's great. Thank you. Now, before we close, I want to let everyone know that Jan, Alan, and Patty have generously agreed to stay on this green room hangout after the recorded broadcast. So all of you who are listening live will have a chance to get to meet both Jan, Alan, and Patty, and have a chance to speak with them directly, which is really special. I want to ask each of them to give us a closing thought of what would be something you would like everyone to remember in order to attract those perfect customers, relationships, clients, funders. Let me start with you, Alan.
Well, Lynn, I remember that first conversation that you and I had, and I was able to see into you. And
True.
so that is the advice that, every one of us has brilliance inside of us. And so this strategic attraction planning process gives us an opportunity to look into us and make decisions based on what's more important to me.
Beautiful. Thank you. Jan, what would you like people to remember? You have so much that you said, so many pearls of wisdom.
My perfect customers want me to have what I want. So
Beautiful.
what do I want?
That's the question, isn't it? What do I want?
My perfect customers want me to have what I want. So just stick with that.
Great. Patty, what would you like us to remember?
I just think that this process is a way to free yourself up to be who truly you are meant to be.
Great, thank you. Roland, even though you've been doing all this work in the background, I'd like to include you. Can you unmute yourself and share with us what you've gotten from this program today? Are you there, Roland?
Yes, I am.
You are so great. Roland, by the way, I want everyone to know, is allowing me to do some coaching with him on strategic attraction, and we're having a great time together. A lot of synchronicities are happening. In fact, I think somehow I attracted Roland to help me. He's a terrific website.
There's no doubt that there was a very, very strong draw both ways. And,
Yes.
I believe thoroughly in the law of attraction, and it's at the root of everything I believe. So, discovery is the surprise today, that I didn't know that you guys were rooted so deeply in it, and I'm totally in alignment with what you're talking about.
Thank you. So I'm sorry, there's a little bit of echo here, but I want to, I'm going to send the link, or Roland, I don't know if you can do that for me, to put the link out on the event page. And so whoever would like to join this Hangout on Air or the green room afterwards, please feel free to click in. And in closing, I just want to thank you all again for joining us, whether you're live or on the replay. And I just want to close by letting you know, I came up with a thought when I was sitting in a coaching session with Stan and Alan and Patty just the other day. And the phrase that came up to my mind was, this program allows us to open the windows of our mind or our soul to unlimited possibilities. This came to me from this. So I want you to be open to yourself, open to those unlimited possibilities that are waiting for you. And with that, I want to thank you again for joining us. I look forward to seeing you next week, where I'm going to announce our new program for next Thursday. And until then, keep up the good work and happy attracting. Take care, all of you. Bye-bye.